everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today we're talking KD. And we've got a little more clarification from Warriors head coach Steve Kerr on Kevin Durant's unpopular and sudden departure from the Warriors back in 2019. Now, of course, KD is no stranger to leaving teams in unpopular and dramatic fashions. In fact, that's the only way I think he's ever left a team. When he left the Thunder to go to the Warriors, it was a massive controversy. Thunder fans didn't think he was leaving. They thought he was going to stay in OKC. He had made implications that he didn't want to join some super team. He wanted to beat those super teams. But he goes and joins the Warriors, which were definitely a super team. Of course, they won back-to-back championships, had a chance for a three-peat, fell a little short, and then he moves on. In a sign and trade, he wants to leave, and he goes to the Nets. And then he demanded a trade from the Nets and left there controversially, ends up in Phoenix, and even earlier this year, he hasn't been happy with his role in Phoenix. So he hasn't really been happy anywhere he's gone. It was definitely a big deal when he left the Warriors right there, and the Warriors definitely fell apart. If you'll recall, 2019, they just completely fell apart. It wasn't just because of KD leaving. They had injuries and all kind of problems there in 2019, 2020, but definitely didn't help that Kevin Durant left so suddenly. It sent shockwaves through the league, and now Steve Kerr has said on the Dan Le Batard show, those years were incredible. I loved coaching Kevin. I think the last year he was here, he was visibly wanting to move on. We could feel it, and that was his choice as a free agent. Everything he gave to us and brought to us, we will be thankful for that forever. He also talked about how Durant might have felt. He said, you can tell when someone's happy or not. It was obvious to everyone. Kevin just needed a new challenge. He was looking to move on. And you can kind of tell that earlier with Phoenix, that with the body language and everything, that he might be looking to move on again. And there are talks now that KD could end up back with the Warriors. I wouldn't guess it's going to happen. If I had to guess, I think if anything, he'll go to another fresh new team and play there, and maybe another fresh team. I say he'll play for two more teams and probably retire at that point in a couple years. But he's still pretty good right now, but he's about 34, 35 years of age, so getting up there. Probably doesn't have too many good years left. But remember, he played for the Thunder for more years than he played for the Warriors. So I wouldn't, if I had to guess of him returning to a team, it might be back to the Thunder, his original franchise. I know they were in Seattle that first year, but it was the same franchise. So that was his original franchise. That's where he grew up. That's where he became an absolute superstar and grew up as a professional basketball player. I mean, literally, he grew up there. Obviously, he's from Washington, D.C., but I'm just saying, like, I don't see him coming back to Golden State, and I don't see the Suns wanting to trade him, although possibly if things go south this season for Phoenix, they could definitely think about moving on from KD. And actually, I think there's a good chance that'll happen. And I think KD may be demanding a trade again. So there's a good chance he'll be wearing a different uniform. If I had to guess, it's not the Thunder or the Warriors or any other team he's been with, the Nets, whatever. I think he'll move on to a fresh franchise. But Benjamin Garcia, he does the Locked On Suns podcast, was on the Locked On Warriors podcast, said no, the door's not closed. Pretty much said the same thing I just said, that he marches to the beat of his own drum. He's a career wanderer and definitely could move back to the Warriors, or could be the Rockets. Could be some other team. You know, who knows? He may team up again with Harden. He may team up again with Westbrook. I have no clue what's going to happen with KD later this year, if anything, but he's definitely an interesting player. He's great. He's probably a future Hall of Famer, I would say most definitely, but he's just not happy often. This is earlier this year, frustrated with Suns' role. Wasn't feeling it, and you could see it watching it with some of the body language. Just wasn't feeling it. Persistent issues with the offense, feeling that he was being relegated to the corner far too often, not having the proper design to play to his strengths, as the offense was built around pick and rolls. And at the same time, some teammates and people close to the organization believed Durant needed to voice his concerns more adamantly and directly with Vogel and his coaching staff. That was earlier this year. And then there was also a report from Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith claims Kevin Durant is a problem in Phoenix, not happy with the Suns. This is all earlier this year, just towards the end of last season. So what do you guys think? I mean, do you think Kevin Durant is just a sort of a head case, kind of get a little overly emotional wherever he goes. And, you know, has clashes with teammates, clashes with coaches. Do you think he might come back to the Warriors? I'm not so sure, but he's had a great career. Always been a KD fan. I think he might get traded again this season, if not during the season. Maybe he gets traded in the offseason. I believe he's under contract, not just for this season, but for the next season as well with the Suns. I don't see him staying in a Suns uniform that entire time, but we'll wait and see. Let me know what you guys think in that comment section down below. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and we will talk to you in the next video.